Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.
Good morning, everyone. If you're wondering how you're going to pay your bills, then it's probably time to talk with someone who can help you get out of debt. The Vice President of National Affairs at Apprisen, Jay Seaton, is here, and he will talk about the programs and services available to help you get out of debt, stay out of debt. Also today, we will hear from Rodney Drake, Vice President of Community Development at KeyBank. He'll explain how to build an emergency fund of money. And later in the broadcast, we will hear from the Senior Director of Local Government and Community Relations at Case Western Reserve University, Letitia James. She'll tell us about this year's Stephanie Tubbs Jones Gospel Fest. I'm Leon Bibb. Good morning again. This is Kaleidoscope, and so we begin with my good friend Jay Seaton, Vice President of National Affairs for Apprisen. Hey, Jay.
Thanks for having me.
How are you?
Every time we have a segment, thank you for having me. I have 15, 20 people telling me, we made an appointment. I listened to you with Leon.
For some of those people who have not seen the act that you and I take on the road, I guess we could be old vaudevillians taking an act on the road.
It's really helpful to people.
Yeah. Refresh the audience's memory of what Apprisen does.
Apprisen, many people know it as Consumer Credit Counseling Service. We use the Apprisen name simply because what we've been doing is done, I'm not bragging, but it's been so successful helping people reduce their debt that we're now national. So we have a national name, but people remember us as Consumer Credit Counseling.
Well, when somebody is in trouble, when an individual is in financial trouble, how does that person know he or she's in trouble?
Well, I call them the debt danger signals. There are some of them. If you're struggling to make the minimum payment every month, that's one. If you're juggling maybe you have 4 credit card payments and you can only pay 2 this month and you're going to skip the other 2 and catch them up next month, that's another one. If you're using credit cards for necessities like food, not just for the rewards points, but because you have to, those are 3 debt danger signals in my mind.
I've got a credit card in my hand. We always bring out the credit card when we talk to Jay, talking about how these little things are wonderful little instruments, but can get you in trouble if you don't use it right.
The key is, and you're right, people say, when's Leon going to bring out his credit card? So you just did. I often tell people, please, if those debt danger signals fit you that we just talked about, one of the things people say, well, what should I do? Dig yourself out. And I know this is going to sound simple, but the first step is really a difficult one for many people. That is, get all those bills and open those envelopes. You would be surprised how many people come to Consumer Credit Counseling, Apprisen, with a bag with envelopes unopened. The first step is you gotta want to.
They see the red writing through the window and
they've been peeking, but they're not open, so they haven't faced it yet.
How do you get people out of debt? How do you do it? And what cost does it cost to work with you?
It's a minimal cost per month, and the first counseling session, which is what many of the viewers really say, that's really what I need. Help me. I need a partner to open these bills and to really decide what the program is. What we try to do is work through a 90-minute over-the-phone or in-person session. We have 4 offices in Greater Cleveland, and work with people to build a budget and then develop what's left over to help them pay their bills.
We've got a phone number. Let's put a phone number on the screen where people can get more information on everything we're talking about. They can call 800-355-2227, 800-355-2227. That's a toll-free call. We know if you're having financial problems, you don't want to make a long-distance call and have to pay for that one. What is the first step that you do when somebody calls you? I mean, do you work with that person and the company that they owe money to?
What we'll try to do is find out, do they want an appointment in one of our 4 local offices, which kind of blanket the area? You know, many of the people who call us are low to moderate income, so they're looking for a partner to really focus on building the budget and then offering reduced payments to get them out of debt afterward. And that first session, that appointment, generally 90 minutes, it's free.
What would you tell people who have credit cards right now who may be using credit cards? I mean, I use my credit card often. I make purchases, buy gasoline, or
so do I.
At $4 and whatever cents a gallon it is now. But I make purchases with my credit card. What's your advice to people who use credit cards often?
I'm in a similar situation. conversation with you. I've been doing this work for over 30 years, and people say, well, you probably don't have cards. I have cards. I use them. Understand what they are. They're convenient, but they're also almost like cash. So understand, at the end of the month, there is a bill that's going to come, and if you don't have the dollars to support that, then you're going to pay what's called interest, and that accumulates.
So you should be able to write a check and pay off that entire debt.
People out there, the viewers, are saying, well, that's great, but I can't do all that. I can't pay it all off. Pay as much as you can, and don't let that accumulate.
So really, you should keep the credit card in your wallet until you really, really need it, and don't make an emotional purchase.
Wallet or purse, and I know a number of viewers are going to say, well, I want the rewards points. That's fine, as long as you can pay the bill.
Back into the wallet the credit card goes. Stay in there, credit card, till I need you. That's what you have to do, huh? And think about it?
You can say it out loud, or you can say it to yourself, whatever. Say it.
What about saving money now, Jay? What can people do aside from credit? Can they save money? My mother used to, and Dad used to take $25 and put it in an envelope. They're working on buying a new sofa, and they're putting $5 here, $10 there in an envelope.
You also told me how you got started. And people have told me, I want to hear that story again. Leon cutting the grass.
Yeah, cutting the lawn.
Leon cut and setting something aside, but being really told that here's how this system is going to work. And I know you have a guest after me who's going to talk about building something very important for low to moderate income people, actually for everybody. An emergency fund.
I'm going to tell somebody, I'm going to tell the audience how I made my first money and what I did with it. It's a wonderful story. We'll save that for the next section because we got somebody from a community, KeyBank coming. Rodney Drake is going to be with us. But this is how you put money in your pocket, by being careful how you use your credit.
That's exactly right. And people say the old cliche about, pay yourself first that everybody's heard. Well, I can't do that. Pay yourself something, even if it's last. Pay yourself.
And if you're in trouble, call Apprisen.
If you need a partner to help you get out of debt, that's what we do.
And you'll walk them through it.
We will do it.
There's light at the end of the tunnel, isn't there?
Yes, and it's not a train.
Because we're trying to jump off that financial train and slow things down.
You're right.
Keep the debts from knocking on the door. Thank you, Jay Seaton. Jay Seaton, my good friend, he's Vice President for National Affairs, Apprisen, or Consumer Credit Counseling. That phone number is 800-355-2227. You call Jay, you call his staff there, and they can really help you get out of debt and stay out of debt. That's the name of that game. Thank you, Jay.
You're welcome.
You'll be back, of course.
Yes,
soon.
Thank you.
I'm going to take a break. In just a moment, we return. We'll talk to Rodney Drake, Vice President for Community Development for KeyBank, about putting money in your pocket after this. You're in touch with Kaleidoscope, and glad to have you with us today. An emergency fund is a must-have for unexpected expenses. Vice President for Community Development at KeyBank, Rodney Drake, is here to explain how to get started with its important information and how the KeyBank Financial Education Center can help us. Good to see you, Rodney Drake.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. What is this a KeyBank Plus? First off, what's that?
Sure. So KeyBank Plus is a program that's completely free to the entire community. You do not have to have a Key account, and it really provides low-cost check cashing as well as other non-traditional bank products and financial education as well.
We're talking about the importance of emergency money. Well, tell me about your thoughts about emergency money for our citizens out there.
Sure. So emergency expenses are nothing new to any of us. We all run into those unforeseen expenses, whether it be job loss or decrease in wages or an accident of some sort. So we all run into them. It's about preparing for them.
Do you talk about this at financial literacy kinds of places?
Absolutely. So part of our Financial Education Center's purpose is within that classroom that we provide are the lessons and understanding around how to build financial wealth, how to make good decisions, how to get out of debt, and how to really achieve your goals financially.
How to make good decisions so you don't get in financial trouble and have to call, as we were just talking to Jay Seaton just a little bit ago about consumer credit counseling. How to stay out of trouble.
Right.
Yeah. Where's this financial center located?
So in the Buckeye Plaza
I got an address here. I'm asking questions, and I got.
We'll have to retape that.
No, I've got it. 11461 Buckeye Road. That's your financial education center?
Correct.
Yeah. What happens at that financial education center?
So within our financial education center, we offer a series of 14 different types of classes. On those classes, we really focus on credit, budgeting, and just basic banking.
When somebody comes in, what are the things that you hear often when people come in? What's like the number one question people have when they come in and they're taking a course in financial education?
Well, it can depend, because since we do have budgeting classes and credit classes, those are the two big breakdowns. So with credit, it's how do I rebuild my credit?
Yeah.
Budgeting, it's how do I make ends meet?
You've got, you talk about personal savings. Interest on personal savings is at 4% in the early 80s. It was close to 12%. How can we learn to save more?
Well, it's really about eliminating bad habits. And so in creating good habits for yourself, understanding the value of paying yourself first, that's really what it starts with.
What's a bad habit? What's the number one bad habit you see?
So there would definitely be several. One of the bad habits that we would say are not to buy in the moment, but make sure that you step away. Understand, is this a transaction that I need to make? Is this a purchase I have to have?
An emotional purchase.
Absolutely. The other thing is comparison shopping. And so with comparison shopping, making sure that before I buy that item, can I find it somewhere else more cost effectively? And this isn't just in CDs or DVD players or TVs. This is also in your banking, you know.
Let me tell you a little story. It takes 20 seconds to tell. When I was 11 years old, I asked my father for some money. I asked him for $1 because I wanted to buy something. He said, go out and get a job. He says, it's time you found a job. I went out and I cut a lawn of neighbors around the corner from us, and I charged $1.25 to cut the front lawn and the back lawn. Now, that was a long time ago. It was a lot of money. $1.25. And I went out and I bought my product, which was less than $1. My dad says, what'd you do with the rest of the money? I says, it's in my pocket. He says, then you need to save that. And that was the last time that I was broke. I've not dropped below 25 cents since then. Now, what's that story tell you?
I think that's absolutely idealistic of what we say, which is to pay yourself first. So making sure that in every single opportunity that you have, finding the cost-cutting measures that you can, whether it be instead of paying 3 to 7%, to a check casher, going to KeyBank to pay 1.5% and receiving free money orders, and saving every excess dollar that you can, because that's what adds up in the end.
Yeah, people can take charge of their financial lives and gain financial stability. Speak to that.
Right, so number one, it's really making sure that you are the CFO of your own life, that you're the financial officer, making sure to track your spending, know where your money's going, making sure that you're using a spending plan and a budget. Again, going back to how you spend your money and not making emotional decisions.
Let me put a phone number on the screen before I ask you what people must do to get to this financial education center. You may call 216-370-5630. More information on everything we're talking about. And that financial education center is located at 114 1861 Buckeye Road. That's in the southeast side of Cleveland in the Buckeye neighborhood, right near Buckeye Road and East 116th Street. Right in that neck of the woods. What happens when people link up with the Financial Education Center?
We're going to meet them where they are. So if it's credit help, if it's understanding how to increase your credit score, what your options are, creating a spending plan, that's what you're going to find there.
And you're going to be able to save them financially, and they will find happiness because they're doing better with the amount of money that they have, living within their means.
And creating freedom.
Well, that's what we're all looking for, that.
Yep.
Let me put a website on the screen if we have not already done so. It's key.com/KeyBankPlus. Key.com/KeyBankPlus. And once again, it is 216-370-5630. You can get all the information that Rodney Drake and I have been talking about. Rodney Drake, Vice President for Community Development with KeyBank. Thank you, Rodney.
Thank you.
You've put food on the table for us and money in our pockets. You've done it all for us.
I'm a pretty likable guy, huh?
You're a likable guy, and you've helped us pay the rent and all of that, because that's what it's all about, keeping those dollars in our pockets, paying them for what they really, where they should really go, and not those emotional purchases.
Right.
Thank you, Rodney.
Thanks for
Good to have you on the broadcast, my friend. Good to have you with us. I'm going to take a break right now. In a moment, we'll return. We'll talk about the annual Stephanie Tubbs Jones Gospel Fest. My good friend Letitia James from Case Western Reserve University is on deck. She comes to bat in a moment. Welcome back to Kaleidoscope. Good to have you with us. The annual Stephanie Tubbs Jones Gospel Fest, hosted by Case Western Reserve University, takes place September the 30th. That's a Sunday. And the Senior Director of Local Government and Community Relations, Letitia James from Case Western Reserve, will tell us more about the event and what we can expect to see this year. Good to see you, Letitia.
Hi, it's good to see you too.
So it's time for the Stephanie Tubbs Jones Annual Gospel Fest again.
Yeah, it is. We're excited. You know, you participated last year, and it's the 7th annual, and it will be held on Sunday, September 30th at John Hay High School, and we have a lot of amazing groups that are going to perform this year.
A lot of good gospel music, all kinds of wonderful, wonderful acts there. As I recall, last year we had dancers, and we had singers, and we had musicians, and had the whole thing on stage. Named in honor and named in the memory of the wonderful Congresswoman Stephanie Tubbs Jones.
Yes. She was our a dear friend first and champion of Case Western Reserve University, and a dual alum, but very active in supporting all of the events and activities that we had for the university, and really loved Gospel Fest. This was one of her favorite concerts, and was engaged in identifying the performers and everything. So it was the least that we could do to name this event after her.
Yeah, we certainly miss her. She passed several years ago, and we still miss her, of course. What are you going to have at this year's Gospel Fest, which is Sunday, September 30th, 4 o'clock, John Hay High School, which is on Stokes Boulevard, right there at the corner of Euclid Avenue and Carnegie Avenue.
Yeah. Well, the first thing that I want to say is that this is a free concert that's open to the campus and community, and it closes out our alumni and homecoming weekend. So it's become a signature event, I think, that everyone looks forward to. We have about, I'd say, between at least 800 and 1,000 people that attend every year. And this year, we can anticipate a performance by our university gospel choir, Voices of Glory, the Cleveland Metropolitan School District's All-City Choir, Imani Temple Baptist Church will be performing, and the Cleveland Church of Christ Citadel of Hope Ministries, and Obi Shelton, who is going to serve as our MC this year as well as perform.
He is a wonderful violinist.
Yes,
My good friend Obi Shelton, former News Channel 5 reporter, former reporter for WKYC Channel 3. We worked together over there when I was over there. Just a wonderful violinist. Obi Shelton, truly a gifted man, a lovely man, just a wonderful guy.
We agree.
Yeah. So you're going to have this big event. Now, I can expect that 1 million people would like to go, but the John Hay Auditorium does not hold 1 million seats, and it is a free event.
Correct.
How do you work that out?
Well, we ask that people who are interested in attending actually either call the university at 216-368-1723, or they can go to our website and register for tickets online.
Or you can go, and that website is case.edu/events/gospelfest.
Yes.
I think we've got it on the screen there. You can get more information. Or telephone, as Letitia said, 368-1723 in the 216 area code. So Case Western Reserve University really sticks with this. And I know that last year, the President Barbara Snyder was there.
Yes.
So, I mean, you really put your stamp on this. The university does.
Yes. This is an event that is celebrated and hosted by President Barbara Snyder, and the family of Stephanie Tubbs Jones joins us every year. And because Stephanie was very active Delta Sigma Theta sorority, her sorors actually serve as welcome ambassadors every year. So it's an amazing event. We all look forward to it, and I truly hope that members of the community join us again this year.
And once again, it is a free event.
Free. free afternoon to...
It doesn't get any better than that. It's like God's love.
Yeah,
it's free. And that's in keeping. And gospel, which means truth.
Right.
As we talk about all the time, gospel music.
Yeah.
So it's the Stephanie Tubbs Jones Gospel Fest. Letitia James is the Senior Director for the Local Government and Community Relations area of Case Western Reserve University. You may call 216-368-1723 for information on tickets or contact the website, which you see at the bottom of the screen. Leave us with a thought on why you think this is so wonderful. I've got 15 seconds.
It's just as you said, this is an opportunity to do praise and worship of, you know, our Lord and Savior, and it's a free event that celebrates just our love for Christ. So I hope that people join us.
It's all about. It's going to be a wonderful event. Letitia James, many thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for having us.
September 30th, 4 o'clock, Sunday, John Hay High School. Taking a break right now. My good friend Ben Holbert of the Urban League of Greater Cleveland joins me in a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, Ben Holbert, who's a voter engagement advocate for the Urban League of Greater Cleveland.
Exactly.
Good to see you, Ben.
So always a pleasure.
Long-time television reporter, Channel 43,
yes,
Channel 3.
Oh my gosh, I was like a bad penny. I just kept turning up somewhere.
One of the good guys, one of the good journalists in town, now working with the Urban League.
Yes. They have a program over there where we're trying to increase voter education. So we're getting out there and putting the word out to all kinds of different groups about the importance of making sure that they register to vote, but not only register, you have to vote November 6th.
So you're trying to keep this forefront in the minds of the people.
Exactly, because we, you know, obviously we're coming off of both conventions, the Democratic and the Republican. So, you know, you hear that talk about a bounce for the candidates, but we want a bounce for the people who want to register to vote. I mean, there's so many people out there who need to make sure that based on foreclosure, based on life circumstances, but they go to the Board of Elections and register so their voice can be heard on November 6th.
The word democracy literally means the people rule.
Exactly. And you and I mean, over the years, we've covered stories where people haven't had the opportunity to vote, people who have struggled to get the opportunity to vote, and now it's very important for us to pick up that baton and carry it and make sure that we do cast that ballot.
So how are you getting that word out as you work with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland?
When we had the Labor Day parade, we were exposed to over 10,000 people. So what we were trying to, and the good thing was there were a number of groups out there registering people to vote. We're going to be at the Football Classic coming up next week. When Letitia was talking about the program involving Stephanie Tubbs Jones and the Gospel Fest, we'll probably make an appearance there.
Yeah.
So we're trying to reach all of those affected people and just please have them sign up to vote.
I've always said if you don't vote, then you got no complaint.
Exactly, exactly.
Well,
So
that's how it goes. For Ben Holbert and all of us here on Kaleidoscope, be well. Yeah,
Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.